so I'll take it. That's what happens when you have a high supply. Now, if you have a low supply of doctors and your local town needs a doctor, or there needs to be a doctor, or you are really sick and you have no choice, low supply, then you got to pay that guy whatever he asks for. He's going to get a high price to fix your broken leg. Hopefully that makes sense. Big rule is money. This all still applies with money. If we have a lot of money in circulation, its actual value goes down, and vice versa. Give you an example. We'll talk about economy 1, and we'll call this the nation of inflation. Let's give it a better name. We're going to call this nation Toad. Toad has a lot of money in the economy. There's a lot of money. And then in the nation of Frog, there is actually deflation, meaning we don't have a lot of money in the economy. So in one country, there's a lot of paper money floating around. And in this country, there's not a lot of paper money. What happens? So over here, the supply of money is up. So the actual value of this money, the value or the price will go down. And I'm going to show you specifically how this works a little bit later. But just know, you might have heard someone say, I can't buy what I used to, or the dollar ain't worth what it used to be, or man, I can't really afford to buy things. That is an example of too much money in the economy of Toad. In deflation, where there isn't very much money in circulation, the supply is low. And so the actual value, this is worth a lot. It's worth more than it appears to be because it is now rare. There is not much of it. Just like gold, it is rare. And so the price has gone up. When there is too much of something, its value goes down. So over here in this economy, it favors regular people because I have money, I can spend the money, and I can buy things, and that's going to create jobs, and that's pretty cool. It's easier access, but it's not worth less. It's worth less, but that's what worthless means. It's worth less because there is more of it, but it still favors you because you have money and you can purchase things. Now that can be argued whether it favors everyday people, but the idea in economy is at least there's money out there. It might not be worth very much, but you have money. You can spend the money at the store. They're going to make goods. They're going to provide services. And ultimately that creates jobs. And with those jobs, there's more people spending money. And with more people spending money, more goods are required, which will create more jobs, which requires or leads to more spending. Over in this economy, it favors more of the wealthy because there is limited access to money. It is more valuable, which is great, like gold or diamonds, but there is limited access to the money. There is less of this going on. We don't have spending over here, and we don't create a bunch of jobs because we do not have spending. We do not have money. This is actually bad. Now, it's not terrible if managed correctly, but in the extreme deflated version, this is what caused the Great Depression. This, not the banks, actually the Federal Reserve Bank, yes. But it wasn't the banks. It wasn't the stock market. It was not the wealthy elite. It was not railroads. It was not the rich. The Great Depression was caused by deflation. There wasn't enough money in the economy during a very pivotal moment. And when there isn't money in the economy, you over here, let's give him a sad face because you can't spend anything. And if you can't spend, then you don't get the jobs. And if you don't get jobs, then we get even less money. And it goes down, down. And this is caused by deflation. And they're like, well, then we want it. No, you don't want this either. This is too much money. This is too little money. You don't want either of these. You want to find a comfortable medium in between. Again, you don't want deflation and you don't want inflation. You need to find a balance, a happy medium of not too much money and not too little money. The way the government works with their money supply today, and even then, it still regulated the money supply with gold and silver, is you don't just print money like a mad person. You don't just slam on the gas pedal and you don't just slam on the brake. And this is a lot like driving a car. You can't just hammer away on the gas. You can't just hammer away on the brake. If you've driven anywhere, you're going to need to use both of these pedals at different times. Hyperinflation or too much deflation is very, very bad. And a lot of times the big problems that we get into are caused by too much gas or too much brake. You can get on the gas, you can get on the brake. Inflation is okay, hyper's bad. Deflation is okay, too much is bad. Again, it's like this is too hot, this is too cold, I guess. I can't really tell. This one's just right. It's Goldilocks. Again, gas pedal and brake. This is how monetary policy works. Too much throttle is like printing too much money, and you're going to wreck. You're going to drive the economy into the ditch. You cannot just print money, print money, print money. It's going to cause inflation, and the value of the money will eventually become worthless, and the economy is destroyed. You cannot just print money. You cannot hammer at the gas. But you also cannot slam on the brake, because too little throttle is too little money, and you get deflation. And remember, that's what caused the Great Depression. There wasn't any money in the economy. You literally had no money. You couldn't spend any money, and that means if you're not spending at the store's not hiring workers, and if they're not hiring workers, then those guys aren't spending, and then it just goes down and down and down. And again, you can't go all in with money, because if you just keep printing and printing and printing, eventually it becomes worthless. Because remember, supply goes up, the price goes down. Gold is rare, silver is not as rare, but it's not like you can get silver everywhere you want. But if we're comparing, you've got rare, less rare. If we're trying to look at this in a binary perspective, or from the perspective of opposites, black and white, rare, not rare. Gold, the supply is low, the value is high. Again, supply low. And you know that if you own any gold, you know it's valuable still today. There's not a lot of gold in circulation. It is very valuable. The only problem with gold is there's not a lot of it, and so you can't buy a lot of things with it. That's the downfall of gold. Now, silver, I feel like I need to write silver on here. The supply is medium. It's not high by any means. And so the value is medium, we'll say. I mean, if you want to say the supply is high, that's fine if that helps you out. So the value is low. If you need a little more extreme of an example to understand what we're hammering away at here. The problem with gold, it seems like it's great because it's got a good value and it buys more. But the problem is, like you and I don't own any gold. I do not own any, even on my ring finger, I don't even have silver. I don't even think you're supposed to have silver rings anyway, but I have, maybe it's titanium. I don't even know what this metal is. So I don't have gold. I don't own any gold. And that's not really that different. A lot of Americans do not have gold. And you may have some gold, but you don't have a lot of it. Yes, it's valuable and it buys things, but it's just not available to everyone. And we need people to have something. We need people to have money so they can purchase goods. And if people have money to purchase goods, it sends the economy up. So silver, though, doesn't buy as much. You know, it's not as valuable, but it's available to more people. These coins are available to people. They use the coins. They buy goods. These gold coins, you probably don't have any gold coins, but you likely have silver coins. And with these coins, you buy goods. And when you buy goods, they produce more goods. They hire more workers. And with more workers, then they have good money, and then they spend it, and it goes up and up and up and up. And that is good, as long as we do not have too much silver. All right, remember 1900. You give your money, you get your gold. Gold is backed, or money is backed by gold. The dollars are backed by gold. The government can only make money based on how much gold it has. That is not like today. Today, the government can print whatever money it wants. But back then, there were rules, there were regulations. They had to stick to it. There was nothing they could do. So then someone says, well, we need to rewrite those rules because we need more money, right? If you have more money in the economy, then people will spend and it'll help the country out, especially because we're talking about the panic that was going on. And a lot of people thought that, especially the populace, the way to get out of the panic was to print more money. Well, the government can't just print more money during this time because money is backed by gold. You only can have the amount of money that is equal to the amount of gold. Them's the rules. So we say, well, why don't we change the rules? What if we change it to silver? Like, what? Silver? What if we create silver as a backing for money as well? Well, what does that mean? Well, here's the thing. We could add more silver. We have more silver than gold, but we're not just doing only silver, actually. We are doing silver and gold. Not only silver. We're doing silver and. That's not how you spell and. I have temporary dyslexia. But anyway, real quickly though, obviously we have more supply of silver than gold. And as the supply of silver, that means, oh, well, that's not good. The price is down. But the good news is we have more silver, and more silver means more dollars. And more dollars means more spending, and the economy is going to go up. So they say, look, instead of using this gold per dollar, instead of gold to dollar, let's do silver to dollar. Silver to dollar. There's more silver, and with more silver, we have more dollars. The economy's going to go up. Well, it's actually even crazier than that, because it's not just silver to gold. It's gold to dollars too. So we can make dollars for every piece of silver. We can make dollars for every piece of gold. That will send the supply up. Well, that's good because we can spend more, but there's a problem. That means the price or the actual value of these dollars goes down. That's the downside. Remember, the law of supply and demand always applies. You print more money, that money actually goes down. And you know it and I know it. And stop saying, well, no way, isn't it? Look, it's a rule. You believe in supply. When supply goes up, price goes down. You apply that to everything. You have to apply it to money as well. Silver will stimulate the economy. It will help in the panic. If we now use silver also as a backing for dollars, we can print more dollars. And with more dollars in the economy, we can buy more goods. I can buy stuff. As I buy more stuff, they hire more workers, and then more workers are spending. And as they spend, it goes up and up and up. The more I spend, the more workers, the more they spend, and the economy goes up, and people start doing better, and maybe eventually we will end the panic. So the answer from the populace is that here's what we need to do. We need to increase the money supply, and we'll do that by what they call is free silver, or the unlimited coinage of silver, introducing it as a backing for money. Today, we can just print money whenever we want it. That wasn't the rules then. Then they wanted to change the rules from gold to really gold and silver. Remember, supply goes up, price goes down. Let's go over this. Some of the problems with this. So the bank gives money to you. You got $300, gold based on silver. Supply goes down, price goes up. Now, explain a little tricky situation. Okay, remember, supply goes down, supply goes up, price goes down. All right, so hopefully we got kind of an idea. Now I'm going to try to wreck whatever you know already. Just hang in there. Let's imagine the bank loans you money, $300. That's when gold is the backing for money. Supply is low, price is high. Now, what happens if we all of a sudden say, you know what, though? Dollars are also backed by silver. And when we do that, we increase. Basically, we're printing money, and we're increasing the supply of money, lowering the price. And actually what happens is that $300 is actually only worth $200. You're probably, what, $300 is $300. It doesn't become $200. Well, it does. $300 really becomes $200 when you increase the money supply. And how they were proposing to increase the money supply was, we're going to use gold, and for every bar of gold, we will print money, and also for every piece of silver, we will print money. And so we have now increased the money supply, and the actual price is lower. And that $300 is actually only $200. I know that is hard to imagine. We'll get to that in a second. Now imagine I eventually pay that money back. You know, after a couple years, I pay that back. Does anyone see a problem here? You may not get this problem yet, but I borrowed $300 when gold was the only backing. When gold was the only backing. Then we created inflation. Then I pay it back, and I'm really only paying back $200. I know it sounds crazy. It's weird. Slowly think about this. So again, if we go from gold to silver and gold, we are basically printing money. We are creating $300. It's still $300. 1, 2, 3. It's still $300. The actual value on the piece of paper still says 100. It does not change. $100 is still $100, even when we print more money. And right now, if you had $100 in your pocket 10 years ago and you have a $100 bill in your pocket today, it's still a $100 bill. It technically has not changed. And we have printed more money at a higher rate. But the buying power changes. The $100 doesn't change. This stays the same. What happens is the market adjusts. The country adjusts. You can't change the face value of the dollar. But we know there are more dollars. So we know the price is going down on those. We know the value